make sure your mics are mute, whoever is not speaking. And then we'll give each other at least like 2 to 3 minutes to introduce yourself and what you stand for and what you represent. And then we can go into the topic of how we can prevent violence. And we are now live here on Facebook Live. Welcome everybody to the Regina Queen Show live podcast. And everyone, you're free to join in anytime if you would like to speak. And here with us, I have some powerful activists here who advocates for the community, humanity, and everyone. And I just want to thank these lovely people who are here with me today to support this podcast, to be the voice for humanity. And the reason why our mission is today is to help prevent violence and to save a life and to just, raise awareness to try to stop this senseless gun violence. People, our youth is being murdered, killed, every day. We're losing our future doctors, lawyers, teachers, judge, scientists, and we need our future. We rely on our future. And I am Regina Queen with United Women Empowerment Against Gun and Domestic Violence. And I'm going to give everyone here on our panel 2 minutes to introduce themselves to our viewers, our audience, so you can know who we stand for, what we represent, and what our mission is. And we all face trauma. And I would like to go with you first. Robert Wright will be my main speaker. Please, Robert Wright, introduce yourself.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Robert White. I am a gun violence youth advocate from the city of Chicago. And I'm glad to be here. Thanks.
Thank you so much. And Shawntel, can you introduce yourself?
Yeah, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Shawntel Hudson. I'm from Brooklyn, New York. I represent the nonviolent program, and thank you for having me here.
Thank you so much. And Dawn, can you introduce yourself, please?
Yes, my name is Dawn Prementer, and I live in Tampa, Florida. I formerly lived in Jacksonville most of my life. I am a representative of domestic violence and narcissistic abuse, and I'm presenting all the women and children who go through all of it.
Thank you, Dawn. And then Michelle Diaz, can you introduce yourself, please? Michelle Diaz. Okay, she was knocked out for a minute. Karen Lockhart.
My name is Karen Lockhart. I'm a housing specialist and also an advocate in New York City and Alabama.
Thank you. And Anna Rodriguez.
Yes, ma'am. I'm here. I'm trying to, okay. Well, I am Michelle Martinez Del Bosque's mother, and I stand alongside with her to assist her in any way I can, especially, she lost her son to gun violence, and so I know the pain that she carries, and as a mother of a daughter that lost a son, I feel like I lost twice. I lost my son. My daughter lost her son, and I lost my daughter in the process of losing her son. So I'm here to listen in and to see what I can learn to help promote gun violence in this community. The community that we live in does not have, that I know of, nothing for gun violence. No rallies, no anything. When Michelle did the rally for her son, she struggled in getting the officials involved. So this is why we're here, to be able to partake and learn and get support and move forward.
Great. Thank you for being with us. We appreciate you. And Michelle Del Bosque, you introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Michelle Del Bosque of Odessa, Texas, activist and advocate for justice for Alec Michael Del Bosque and for my city, town, and community, and the state of Texas as well.
Thank you, Michelle. And we have Keisha Tiggs.
Hello, my name is Keisha Tiggs. I'm the member of the Order of the Eastern Star. I am with the chapter of Ladies of Grace. I'm here supporting my sister Karen Lockhart. I am from the city of Chicago, and we are known especially for gun violence. So I'm here to gain some knowledge, some insight, and learn, and also to support my sister Karen Lockhart. Thank you.
Thank you for being with us, and we appreciate you too as well. And we have two here from Chicago, and Miss Hudson. Okay, okay, so Miss Hudson, I don't think she can hear us right now. Miss Hudson, can you hear us? Okay, okay, we're gonna proceed. So I
No,
just want,
she's here.
she's here.
She's
Miss
here.
Hudson. Hi, Miss Hudson. Can you introduce yourself, please? Thank you.
Hi, my name is Miss Hudson, Pamela Hudson, and I'm the mother of Shawntel Hudson.
Can you hear her?
Yes, I can hear it. I just hear echo. Like, I guess when one is speaking, then we have to turn off the mic, mute the mic. And so thank you, everybody, again, for being here with us to raise awareness and to help save a life with our message. And I would like to, Robert, right, we want to talk about the gun violence in Chicago, and if you could share some of your story of what you encountered, and just help send a message to, raise awareness.
Again, I say my name is Robert White. I'm greatly appreciative to be graced with the opportunity to address as it relates to gun violence and youth advocacy and gang violence. Just a brief background. I'm the oldest of three. I have two younger siblings. One, I'm 3 years senior. My baby sister, I'm 7 years senior. And I'm the oldest male. My mom had me as a teenage mom. She was 15 years old. No stable father. Long story short, I ended up, joining the gang early in life, about 13, 14 years old. Started using drugs and alcohol around that same age, which graduated me to spaces where I started using hard narcotics, heavy drinking, ended up spending time in the county jail, which then transited to me spending time in the Illinois Department of Corrections. I have a total of 13 years accumulative in the Department of Corrections, and I've been 6 different times. I've been shot. I've also, unfortunately, have been involved in gun violence, as I shall say, and since 2010, I have been an advocate for the youth. I've been an advocate for nonviolence. I've been an advocate for especially non-gun violence and just the upliftment and the advocacy of hurting people all around the country, not just Chicago. As it relates to the topic of conversation, I've been involved in gun violence and gang prevention, like I said, for about 12 years now, in which this has become a profession, more so as equated to anything like, a post office worker or a public accountant, a fireman, a paramedic, you have it, a teacher, gun out, what we call it to be in Chicago. We call it outreach work, right? It has a direct effect and direct derivative from what's plaguing a great deal of communities, which have all of us on the phone at this point in time to begin with. And that's the senseless gun violence. So I would like to just give a brief background as to my experience and how things from my vantage point, how I've culminated into the way I see things. So coming up in the projects in Chicago and being born to a teenage mom, right? As I can see now and look back, like we are all broken. And so when I say that, I want to give a backdrop to brokenness. So it may stem from various capacities of life. whether it be substance abuse, whether it be alcoholism or substance abuse, whether it be sexual abuse, whether it be physical abuse, whether it be emotional abuse, whether it be poverty, whether it be hunger, whether it be malnutrition, whether it be mental health, you name it, there's some type of capacity that we've all been affected to or by in some capacity in different variations on a case-by-case basis. So let's just set that tone, right? And so then with that tone, you have what they call jumping off the porch. And jumping off the porch is really an equative of saying individuals start to venture off into the street life or venture off into what's going on in the world. So mind you, you have all of us who are broken come from an skewed variations of that brokenness, right? Before we even come outside. Before we even come outside, we've been exposed to a great deal of atrocity, right? And this is how we view the world. And so if you got that coming out the house, you already know what it's like once you jump off the porch into the street. So it's not so like your brokenness comes from being in the street. I would like to say a great 97% of humanity's brokenness come from the homes before they even touch the ground.
Amen.
And so with that being said, as a precursor, right, it allows me the opportunity to look at things from a different perspective, right? Because I've been one who has been thoroughly entrenched and involved in promoting gang and gun violence at an extremely high level, right? And so being able to say that, as I can look back now, I can understand why that vigorness and why that persistence was so strong then. And it's basically because a great deal of things that I longed for when I was a child, before I even knew what it was I longed for, right? Wasn't there. It wasn't there. And so once I finally come outside, I ended up associating with hundreds of other kids just like me, from various genders, from whether it be male or female. It's not a male or it's not a gender thing. It's a human thing. And so we all are jockeying and vying for understanding of this world as we see it from broken lenses. And the thing that we came up with is get high, ease the pain, try to assert ourselves on each other to be respected or to be understood or to be received. And if I got to kill you in order to achieve that goal, then so be it. Now, you got to be a broken individual to buy into that, let alone believe in and promote it. So I say that with a sense of giving us an understanding from my vantage point, right? Like of how we can see things of a young baby at the age of 4 years old being shot in the drive-by and don't nobody come forward. I don't condone the behavior at all, but I understand. And me understanding that, right, affords me the opportunity to, one, to be grateful to the creator of my own understanding, because I understand I don't sit on this phone at this moment by my own hand. See, I know it's something bigger than me. I know it's something that I don't have control over, that has control over me if I would allow it to. Just like I've allowed the nonsense to be controlled over me. Like it's a work in progress, and it's always work. Meaning, you're gonna put some work in which way, whether it be negative or positive. You're gonna put some work in. It just depends on how and where, and that's predicated on those things that what we have been given during our upbringing, right?
There you go.
And mind you, some of these things that I openly talk about, there are individuals who are up and around, they are operating with absolutely no sense of understanding of what I'm talking about. So that's why it's easy for me to shoot the shit out you and not be fazed by it. Because I've been open and susceptible to brokenness and violence and meanness and harshness, right? Before I can even have a sense of getting away from it. I'm just sitting in it because I'm a kid. And I can't separate myself from my mama. You know what I mean? I'm not in that sense of being and understanding. And every man, woman, and child, I believe that's an inner sense of right and wrong. That inner sense of right and wrong gets cultivated depending on what my environment is. Everything that Robert White has, and I don't know for anybody else who's listening, but I know for me, everything that I know, I learned. I didn't come to this world knowing anything. I had to get it from somewhere. I didn't make it up on my own. I didn't make violence up on my own. I ain't make poverty up on my own. I ain't make watching my mother be involved in domestic violence disputes as a teenager because she had me when she was a teenager. You hear me?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And the individuals
Right.
who are experiencing this as adults don't even know how to break it down to their kids because they don't even know how to break it down to themselves. So it's just a continuum of hurt, broken behavior that is only seeming to be disseminated against other individuals who are going through the same shit I'm going through. And so with that being said, it gives me an opportunity to be extremely mindful of my judgmental attitude because I can look at people's behavior, especially young people, right? And I can use it through my own lens of why they act the way they do. They so disrespectful. They so violent. They're so non-caring. They're so selfish. They all of these things, right? And all I can keep saying to myself is sometimes I'm going through this litany of character defects assessing of them myself, right? But I have to come to understand a great deal of reason why I can understand what they are doing is because I ain't done it. I ain't been there. And I might not been there to where I was in the car with other individuals doing the drive-by and hitting the baby. But I have been involved in some behaviors that would equate to me saying, I understand. I don't dislike the individuals, I dislike the behavior.
The
And I think
behavior.
a lot of times we get caught up in the behavior that we disseminated on the individual. But I have to tell you, as God is my witness of my understanding, I'm not here if it wasn't for people not giving up on me. I wouldn't be here if somebody would have walked away and gave me the just deservement for my behavior. They didn't do that. They were loving and kind in spite of me being mean and ugly.
Right. Right.
So I share these things, right, in the
Right.
sense of trying to give an overall understanding that we as human beings, this is just my personal ideology, right? My goal for existence should be one thing and one thing only: to help other human beings be better with the skills and gifts that the Creator of my understanding has allotted me and afforded me. I have to try to pour into somebody else. I don't get to judge who get it, who don't get it. I fight my demons every day. So I ain't got no heaven or hell to put none of y'all in. So I can't be telling you what you should and should not be doing. I'm just going to try to be an example of what I think a person should and should not be doing. And that's only through my own personal experiences. Because like I told you, boy, I'm a lot closer to where I've been than where I'm going.
Right.
I don't want to take up too much of the time. So
thank you so much for that, Robert. Yes.
I just want to continue to promote, to support all who are on the call, especially the women on the call. I know a lot of times that you guys don't get the male support that you should from individuals who really can be a difference maker. Just understand they're not doing it because they don't want to, or whatever the case may be. More so, they don't even understand how important it is because they're still broken. They still going through it. You know what I mean? So don't equate for somebody 55 that he should know better. If he ain't been addressed and humble enough to receive understanding himself better, there's no way he gonna do better.
Right.
So I'll close with that.
Thank
Right.
you.
Thank you so much for that,
Thank
Robert.
you so much, Mr. Robert.
Yes, yes, and I felt that wholeheartedly because we all here on this panel are broken. We all been through something. Like, for us moms, we encounter some of us encounter domestic violence, we lost our sons to gun violence. And as Dawn Premier, she lost she dealt with domestic violence with a narcissist. That's been a lot that we had encountered. And then also, Shawntel, would you like to collaborate with would you like to speak about what Robert Wright has spoke about, or what are your insights on how to prevent violence? And you can share with some of the things that you have been through.
Yeah, I don't mind speaking. Where do I start?
Monica, hurry up.
You can start anywhere. If you're not ready, we can go with anybody else that who would like to say something. It's open and the topic is.
Yeah, come back to me if possible.
Okay.
Okay.
Michelle DeBosque, you want to talk about the gun violence in Odessa, Texas, and how you feel about your son being murdered, and you know some things that Robert Wright has said is he pays attention to, like, you know, so many people are hurt, so many people are broken, and the behavior, and you know, what do you feel about that? Do you feel like a broken person murdered your son?
I agree.
Shut the door. Shut the door.
Are you there?
Did you finish?
Yes.
I'm sorry, I got kicked out.
Yes.
Yes, I would agree. If you go back and look at, you know, a lot of the kids that have committed crimes, they do come from broken homes or lack of attention, or something's going on there. You know, you just don't randomly come outside and decide you just want to shoot and kill somebody today. You know, in Odessa, a few days ago, I posted all the loved ones that have been gunned down due to gun violence in our community from 2014 to current date. And we're talking close to 100 people in 10 years, you know, like 10 a month. And it's getting pretty bad that they're getting younger and younger. And we have so many unsolved murder cases here. And that's the hard part. You know, you lose your children and then you have to deal with the fact that there's no justice. Nobody wants to talk about it. My biggest deal is I've been told a lot by people is that I don't want to be no snitch. And to me, when it comes to a life, it's not snitching. You know, it's someone was murdered. If you see something, say something, because I mean, it's a human life, right? You would think that someone would come out and say, hey, you know, I know who killed your kid, but now people have to deal with retaliation, afraid to get hurt, you know, because someone is more, how do you say, more into street code. You know, we don't tell, you know, it's all gang related in some sense as well, you know, with other kids wanting to go kill people, you know, and as a parent of gun violence, it's been very hard to see people post things about your child and how they murdered your child or why they murdered your child, and no justice has been done. And that's, you know, that's a big deal here. We're an oil field town city that has just boomed tremendously. And with the boom comes the violence or the theft, the crime.
Yeah, so I just wanted to say, Sister Michelle, like, so from my experiences, right, like a great deal of this culture, right? So there's a culture. They unlabeled the drill culture, right? And they kind of saying like it stemmed from Chicago. So I made 54 in January, right? And so I am one of those individuals who hip hop era. I was born before it was created. My generation is those who created hip hop. So I watched it from its inception to where it has culminated today. And I can say that it has gotten bad, but it's nothing new. And I hate to say it because in the 80s, when I was a teenager, people were getting killed for gym shoes. Like people were getting shot in the head, having their gym shoes and they starter jackets taken. The drive-by code, the drive-by culture, not code. The drive-by culture was really disseminated from the West Coast, right? NWA, MC8, all that came, and we glorified that, right? So you fast forward the way things have culminated today, where first and foremost, this thing that we are all able to communicate on now, the social media, the social media piece is one piece in itself. I'm just going to talk about the internet. A great deal of us didn't have these things at our disposal as young people. So we don't know how we would have acted if we'd have had these things when we were kids. And what comes with that is a great deal of these kids coming up broken, coming up in breaking homes, and they have the amenity to have anything the human mind can conceive at their immediate disposal, at their own leisure. Meaning a lot of these kids who 12, 10, 11, 9, they got their own phones and they're watching porn. They're watching people literally get killed. Like the sister Michelle said, people killing people and going to post it on social media. You got young kids, 10, 11, and 12. They can follow the storyline and understand who killed who. So you know law enforcement can. And then to buy into this no snitching thing, for those of us who are on this call from a person who come from the street, like, let me say this. If two individuals or more go on a crime together, and one of them or more get caught by the authorities, right? And they present the authorities, they present these individuals with some type of incentive to give involvement or information on all of those who are involved in that particular crime or some crime for some of leniency. That is snitching. It's not snitching if you see a man walk past and rape, rob, kill somebody innocently. That's not snitching. And that should not be tied in with the code. But the individuals have so distorted this, right? That they're buying, they got our society, us as a society, have our babies go on social media, any one of y'all social media platforms, and they got millions of reels of kids, 10, 5, 4, talking about I ain't no snitch. Have absolutely no idea what they talking about.
Absolutely no idea.
So I wanted to bring that to the forefront, share, like when people are not telling about crimes of people being murdered, and they trying to make it seem like they tied it into the non-snitch. You only not snitching if you're a part of it. If you talking about you ain't snitching and you ain't a part of it, you are a culprit. So I just wanted to make that clarification, right? Because it's so many real street codes that has been taken and making it seem like the most absurd things are things to be stood on with some standard value system. And it's idiotic. So I'm just saying, as a person who come from the lane, like, I don't want the lines to get blurred, and that we can be able to disseminate this information appropriately, because people are attaching and parroting things that are not correct. They're just not correct. And and like I say, I'm gonna end with this. This is like the Donald Trump era. Dig this shit, man. Today's Saturday. You can keep on saying it's Monday all you want to. It don't change it to Monday. Today's Saturday. So let's not buy into it. People keep on saying something that makes it correct when we all know it's wrong.
Exactly. Thank you so much for that. And I would like to address the behavior of parents, like in the home with going through domestic violence, as a man being a father of a child, of how he present himself, in front of children, because the one thing that really startles me is verbal abuse, and that I would like to talk about. Verbal abuse is to say that the bitch word. Okay, so we have men today that are calling, women bitches. And when our youth hear, this verbal abuse, they accept that. and they go out and they stand on that. And, you know, it's like a domino effect. You know, it affects others. Then they start calling women bitches and, you know, that right there creates violence itself as well to me. And I just would like to, you know, talk about that. When you talk about the hip hop culture, you know, how we have these rap artists, you know, they call women bitches, you know, all day long. And I'm really against that. And I really feel that affects the youth as well. Shawntel, are you ready to speak right now?
Yes, I am.
Do you have any insights on, you know, what the topic I just spoke about with, you know, our men calling women bitches? Do you have any insights?
I know that's unacceptable.
And how it affects the youth as well.
Because they look at it as it's okay to do the same thing. No respect to the women, to the females, to the queens.
Shawntel, is there anything that you would like to share with us that you have encountered and how it affected you, if you like?
Yes. Okay, I grew up Brooklyn, New York. Single parent household, just me and my mother. Grew up like a regular kid. Doing what little kids do. I wound up going to jail, leaving behind 2 sons. My mother. And I came home after doing my time and I see the area I grew up in. It's a big difference from when I grew up. So, you know, I started doing my own thing and feeding the youth. It's a lot of hungry people out here. It's a lot of nothing going on. So, you know, we had options. I'm 47 years old. Back in my day, we had options. You know, whether it was to flip on dirty mattresses, whatever, play baseball, play basketball. These kids don't have them options nowadays. So that's when I started a nonprofit organization called FOG. The breakdown of FOG is Fun Over Gun, you know, giving back to the youth. You know, putting smiles on their faces. Once you put smiles on their faces, then the parents could smile again and enjoy their day. That's basically all for right now. I thank y'all.
Thank you so much, Shawntel, for sharing your story with us. We really do appreciate it. And Don, would you like to speak?
Yes, I certainly would.
Any topic is open.
Okay, with Robert, what he said was absolutely correct. I listened to his whole story and he's nailed it on the head. It all starts at home. Starts with the parents, starts in raising of the children. I've been through domestic violence living with my parents and then moved into a narcissistic abuse relationship with my ex. It's all bad. And violence does come in many shapes and forms and sizes, between choking and gun violence and threats. And it just comes down to it gets pretty bad. And like I said, all these kids that are being grown up nowadays, they have no notion of what it is to have a job. They don't know what it's like to have bills. No one knows how to be nice anymore. So it all comes down to where I guess people my age have to step in and tell these kids what they do is wrong and how they talk to people is wrong. as gun violence goes, this has to stop. It's getting to have too many people involved, too many children we're losing, too many adults we're losing, including stars on TV who get shot for no apparent reason. And this gun thing has got to stop. Someone's got to put a stop to it. There's got to be a law. There's got to be people like us that need to go to Washington and say, listen, the violence has to stop now. It's hurting our children, our grandchildren. It's hurting the elderly. And it all starts at home. Just like Robert said, when you grow up in a home and you see what you see in a home, that's where it starts. I just had this conversation with my ex last night. He didn't know where he learned his violence from. We found out it came through his childhood. So now he's working on that through a therapist. And I'm doing the same thing with mine. And I've learned a lot and I've grown. And guess what? I have gotten stronger. I don't depend on anybody anymore. And because of your show, and a lot of people are on this board, thank you so much. You've stood up, you've spoke, we've all spoke. And we just need to go out there and start pressing forward and start getting our message out. That's the only way this stuff's going to stop.
Exactly. Thank you for that, Dawn. And I really do appreciate it. And yes, it does need to stop. And we need more of, my opinion, you know, us women, we are here, but we need our head. The head is the man, the men. We need more men to stand behind us. And I just want to thank you so much, Robert and Shawntel, for standing, you know, behind us. And when it comes to gangs, you know, men in gangs, you know, I truly believe that we need more of them men to step up and advocate and to go out into the communities and solve because there are solutions. So we need to get down to the solution and solve these problems. And as being an advocate, you know, myself, you know, my pain to purpose. And that is why I'm here. You know, after losing my son to gun violence, I waited until it hit home. You know, I never thought that this would happen to my family. Things I see in the media, you know, in the community, people being shot, killed, families, the way it's impact families, the way families are suffering. You know, I've seen all of that. And the whole time while I'm watching this, you know, I never thought it would hit home. So it hit my home and here I am. So that is my suggestion, is that, you know, most of these gang leaders step out into the communities and try, you know, to save our youth and not, you know, just sit there and not do nothing, you know. Again, as being an advocate, I have came across, you know, quite a few organizations, and I'm not here to degrade any organization or anyone, but I'm just asking for resources and help, you know, and the compassion and love, and that we don't just stand out and sit out to be an entertainment, you know, and to see who can get the most fundings for our organization, and to stand. Yes, it is an honor. It is an honor to receive an award, you know, but not to just, you know, receive something for not, you know, doing anything. And just like I said, for the entertainment. So we need to, you know, talk about these things too, and be out there and be a service, you know, to our community in a real way, and with a real heart of compassion, and just, you know, not wait until, you know, it hit home. So that's what I suggest.
Yeah, one of the things I wanted to say is like for it's a deep rooted apologetic gesture on my part of all men as relates to women. Like I apologize for y'all, man, because in spite of my own brokenness, right, I still had a sense of understanding that I supposed to stood up, and I didn't. No, like I know, like this it's a disdainment that the youth have, right? They angry, they take it really out on the mothers because y'all are the closest there. But really, they angry at us, at the men. They angry at us because we aren't the providers and the examples that we're supposed to be. And it's like, you know, it ain't like being in an abusive relationship. It is. It's an abusive relationship when men are not in the presence of children and women because we're neglecting them. And that's abusive because they're looking for something that we know they need. But because of our own inadequacies and our own brokenness, we can't even overcome the shit that we going through to be what we want to be in some cases. And because that line be blurred, you know, we can't deal with it, so we turn to different means. And I'm not saying this is the overall layout for people. I'm just saying my experiences as a man, right? And as a Black man. Like, so my own brokenness and not having a sense of wherewithal. Now, today's society, I promote therapy. I promote open gestures of affection and reverence. You know what I'm saying? For my brothers, openly, not under no sexual type of lick, but just to let other men know, like, being vulnerable is a humanistic quality that we should not lose. And I don't know where it came from, where if you exemplify that, like, you a sucker. That's the most craziest shit ever. Like, to say that if I'm being appreciative and giving open acknowledgement to another man for helping me in whatever capacity, by doing that, it lessens me as a man. That's crazy. But there again lies the twisted paradox of our cultural thinking today. Like, everything that's bad is promoted as good, and everything that's promoted as good is now looked at as extremely bad. And I'm just a man whose sense of wanting to promote my standards of and value system through my behavior, not just through my verbiage, right, but through my behavior. And it's a lot of other men who feel the same way I do. And they all across Chicago, they all across the state of Illinois, as if they're all across this country. Like, there are pockets of us all across this country. Just like it's pockets of violence and community, you know, downtrodden all across this country. Just like we got, you know, good men from various, especially Black and brown, like, you know, we'll keep it 100, like, we are most promoters and perpetuators and victims of gun violence. So, you know what I'm saying? We got to keep it 100, right? Until we whom are affected by it most stand up in some means to promote advocacy against it, it definitely ain't going to change. Now, I'm not saying it's going to change totally with our involvement, but it's going to be better, though. It's going to be better. I don't know how much better, but it's damn sure going to be better than what it is now. We ain't doing nothing. So that's my ideology behind it. You know what I'm saying? So just to tell, like I said, all you women on here, man, you know, it's always been known through history that any revolution of change has always came from two populations, and that's women and children. Women and children have always been the forefront of change. You know what I mean? Young people in the 60s, and you know what I mean? You can go down the list, you know what I mean, in history, where it's always been women and children, where I'm trying to promote a sense of being where men are standing up in a sense of, and it doesn't matter what our religious or spiritual beliefs are, but just having that commonality of wanting to uphold a sense of decency, of righting wrong, not just for my own livelihood, but for y'all's too, because I want my kids and my mama and my grandmother and my partner, whoever the case may be, my co-worker, to go home and be able to go and move around as they need to be, just like I want the same for you guys. You know what I mean? So it's just one of those things. I think of attacking things from various capacities, you know, from our own skills and talents. You know what I mean? All of us don't have the one answer, but all of us together do have the answer, right? You know what I'm saying? Nobody should be looked upon as not having value. Nobody should be looked upon as not knowing what it is or knowing everything, because nobody knows everything and nobody has a sense of value that means nothing. You know what I mean? We should all have value in trying to achieve a goal. And I think just being able to show this amongst each other as adults will trickle down to the young people, because what they are doing now has trickled down from the adults. Again, always mind that young people never come into the world with a preconception of how they're going to live their life. They learn that through experiences. Those experiences come from people prior to them, whether it's openly acknowledged or not. That's what it is. And so until we come into a sense of that, it's going to be definitely. But in closing, please, all the women on here, man, for y'all, I can't tell y'all know how it feels to lose a child because I haven't lost one. And I ain't going to tell y'all know how I feel, but I will tell you this. There are some men who are out here who are trying to promote a better sense of being so it doesn't have to take people to lose a child to want to get involved.
Exactly.
Good.
Yes, thank you for that. Thank you so much for that powerful message. And Karen.
Yes. This is Miss Hudson. I'd like to say something if I may.
Sure.
Can you hear me? Okay, I agree with everything that he was saying, but it's not only what we have to do, it's this drug epidemic. The drug epidemic is taking over families' lives. I realized that back in the 80s when they placed drugs in different neighborhoods, and I've seen how families were broken and lost. And I work in a high school where parents would come up in there now and asking, I know me and my daughter look alike, me and my son, we look like sister and brother and this and that there. I've lived to see the change, and it's really heartbreaking, and it's all due to drugs. The prayers were lost in the homes, everything has been lost. So now we have these young kids having babies, not understanding nothing but being pregnant, thinking it's cute, and not having the knowledge to, you have to excuse me, but I'm kind of emotional when it comes to this. But it goes back to the drugs. All value and morals has been lost. And that's why these kids grow up not knowing why they do the things that they're doing. Because a lot of times I ask the kids, why are you so angry? Why are you upset? They don't know. They have no answer for this. If it's making any sense to anyone, what I'm trying to convey, but
yes.
My son's that way. They're angry and don't know why.
Exactly. And it's heartbreaking. But it all comes down to the drug epidemic. And in the 80s, like I said, everything was lost. And I've got to see where brothers and sisters hated each other, wanted to take each other's lives and this and that because of getting high. And I've seen families that were once close are torn apart.
Yep.
And they don't understand why. Maybe I'm not making, I hope I'm making sense to somebody. I'm just kind of passionate. This is my first time doing this. And
it's one of those things. Yeah, you made a lot of good sense. It's one of those things where, so the get high part, so again, like when I said, that's why I say, like, there's no panacea. There's no cure-all, meaning that is going to solve everything. There are components of substance abuse. You name it.
Yes, it's verbal, everything.
And one of the things is right, like all the one thing I can tell you from the alcohol and drug abuse capacity is that's the symptom. That's not the problem. The drugs and alcohols is a coping mechanism to deal with stuff that I can't get. And therein lies the problem. Like and just to give you a personal opinion, like at 7 years old on my way to school, I was molested by another male. He snatched me on my way to school. I was 7.
Wow.
I ain't started using drugs till I was 14. But I can tell you, that experience at 7 was a main motivator. It wasn't the only motivator.
Right.
It was a main motivator.
Yes.
And at 7, how can I tell you at 15 I'm messing with cocaine, but really because I'm feeling inadequate about being sexually assaulted by another male.
Right.
So you just have, and I'm just, that's just one of the experiences, right? So I'm
Right.
saying that to say, like, to your point, and again to all of you guys, like I commend y'all for the efforts and knowing that like so many aspects ail us, but in the same token, as so many aspects ail us, there's a great deal of goodliness and godliness coming from out of this, because
Oh,
we have
yes.
individuals like having these conversations, and preferably we'll take these to our own individual spaces, and we hope that it'll go from those individual spaces. It's the same way like the plague and COVID was spread it around. That's how this culture is spread it around. Any culture, good or bad, is spread it around through repetition. I'm sorry, and can trying to be the example. And a lot of times I find that us encouraging each other in these spaces allows us an opportunity not to shout and yell about what's wrong, but we can talk about the goodness that comes from actually trying to do something about it.
Yes, thank you so much, Robert. And Karen.
I want to thank everyone for coming here today. I appreciate you guys. I just want to definitely speak on us coming together and staying strong. That is one thing that we definitely need to do, is work on networking with each other. Mr. Robert White, I would like to offer you an opportunity to be able to come to Connecticut and be nominated with us. Regina, would you help me out with what I'm trying to explain to him, please? We can't hear you. You're on mute. You're muted.
There we go.
There we go.
Yes, and so we want to nominate you, Robert Wright, to receive an award in Connecticut. So we put in for you already, and we would like for you to honor the award and accept it. And we put your name in to be honored. We're going to keep you updated with that.
I am humbled. I greatly appreciate it. Like, hey, listen.
You go, Robert.
I know, right? You put me on the spot. Like, so I do a lot of, and I want to say this, right? I do a lot of public speaking in Chicago, right? And I want to share this with you guys. Today, we have a program that's in Chicago called One City. And it's a basketball league, right? But, you know, Chicago is extremely large. And with the fractionation of gangs being turned into cliques, you know, it's like a zillion of them, right? And they have created a space where young men are able to come together. And and listen, y'all, when I tell y'all this, I know some of these cats, they shoot us. And to see them today in a space coexisting, even if it's just basketball, right? Even if it's just for an hour or so, they was able to put their guns down and their brokenness down for a common goal, knowing in order to come in here, it's got to be about peace. And it was packed. It was packed.
That's
and
powerful.
They say the same thing going on the west side, because they go on simultaneous. And I'm also want to share with you guys, the day before yesterday, I talked to an organization that is headed by a person who's 35 years old. And he has 40 maybe people that's working up under him. And they're all doing violence prevention, and they ain't my age. You get what I'm saying? Because in violence prevention, most of the guys are guys who've been to the penitentiary for 20 years. And, you know, it's been like they've been long removed from the streets. But now we're growing a culture. We're growing a platform where it's cool, it's fashionable to be a violence preventionist, to be a gang and gun violence preventionist. Young men and young women are picking this banner up and saying, I'm not with that no more. I'm with putting the guns down. And they're telling it to their peers as opposed to it coming from me. You know what I'm saying? So just know, like, the things that you guys are doing, you may not see it, but every drop in the bucket helps. I swear it does.
So I wanted to share that part. I agree where you come from, because I came from being a gang member myself. at the age of 12. And that's why I advocate to make a difference. So this offer here is to give you the opportunity in Chicago from all the way from New York City that we do appreciate you. Everybody on this video, if you have not been nominated, you will. I would like us to keep on doing these podcasts. And if you can, I would like everyone here to be at the event in Connecticut. After we finish, can you please inbox Regina so we can stand and keep on fighting? One hand wash the other, together we wash the face. And that's the only way that we can be able to stand out. It is not easy. This has not been easy for me. I've been doing this since I was 15. I've been incarcerated since I was 13. I came home in 2010 and I promised that I would never look back. It doesn't just come from domestic violence. It doesn't just come from drugs. It comes from prostitution. It comes from being in a group home and not being loved. So that's the story where I have came from. And I made a big difference at being 36 years old and having the opportunity to stand and advocate. I hope everyone can get to know me a little bit better. Regina, I would like you to pick that up after we get off of here to make sure everyone gets together and get the contact information so we all could stand in Connecticut. So not just one person is being awarded. We can go on this website and each person on here will pick one person and you will put their name down and everyone will get a award. That's what I would like to be done today. Another thing that I would like us to do is to do a fundraiser for Natasha Stewart, who was one of our advocates who passed away.
Oh,
Um,
no.
we're gonna actually set that up. A fundraiser for that is selling popcorn and stuff. Um, then we have another one for Mr. Hudson. We're gonna be doing a fundraiser for him because the police pulls him over and some things had occurred, which he does not belong in prison. Officers are wrong, they will kill us and nobody would know. So I would like to have that fundraiser to be started so we can get him a paid lawyer. And I also wanted to address, just because you're an advocate doesn't mean that nothing can happen to you. It happens to everyone. So if we play in a team, I would like everyone to be a part of this. I know everybody has busy lives, but we're here to win. Let's work.
We're here
Yes,
to
ma'am.
win, to support each other, network. The network is, it gives us all the sense of connection to connect with each other and to help share resources to get people the help that they really do need. And I would like to thank you so much for that, Karen, and for your compassion of everyone and not just one. And I really do appreciate that because I really, really, really need for Michelle DeBosque to be nominated because Michelle DeBosque has done a lot in Odessa, Texas since she lost Alec to gun violence. And it's been, you know, a horrific moment for her and for us all, as we did lose our sister Latasha Stewart to gun violence, as she was advocating, seeking justice for her son, and someone comes and murder her.
Okay.
And Michelle
So
DeBosque has been, you know, a really big support. Whenever we call on her, she's here, no matter what, and that is what matters to us, our mission, the movement, and just to be out there. And then also, I would like to talk
Regina,
real
Regina,
quick. Yeah.
Regina, before you go on to the next one, I want to say thank you to Michelle again, and my condolences to your son. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Thank you
Um,
so much.
Again, when we all get off of this line, and I'm saying it on live because we all on live, and it's one hand wash the other, together we wash the face. The when we do the fundraising, Michelle, again, it won't be directly in your name, it will be considered into your child's name, and we will all do the same for everyone who have lost someone. So Regina, once you get off this phone here, we will actually put her on the list also, like everyone else that is here. So Michelle would do one, say for Robert. Robert would do one for Ms. Dawn. Ms. Dawn would do one for Shawntel. You know, we would just all pass the torch. And
Yes,
if you
ma'am.
have opportunities in your city, we need to all know 2 weeks ahead of time or a month ahead of time that you have an event so we all can come, because that's how me and Regina have started. That is the only way that we can be able to build and go on to the next level to accomplish greater things. If you don't have the money to get somewhere, we can all come together to raise that money so we can be able to get you there. September 20th is an event. So if you're not ready, I want you guys to all be ready. And let's do it. Go ahead, Regina. I'm sorry.
Yes.
Excuse
yes.
me, this is Michelle's mom. We're in Connecticut. I know you said Connecticut, but we're specifically in Connecticut.
You will get the information once we
Okay.
finish off of here. So,
Okay.
I don't want to just put all the address here for people and domestic violence. Because there are some advocates as myself who are still experiencing that. So that's why I do that.
Okay.
If everyone could just inbox each other, get each other's contacts, and we can all work offline, I would appreciate that.
I am very grateful to all you ladies and
Yes.
gentlemen on the call. This is a very positive thing. I'm very grateful to have been invited to this conversation. I am a mental health professional. I work in the mental health service, and of course, everybody's been riddled with trauma because of this. And this is something that I see as a mental health professional, like Mr. Roberts said, sexual abuse is a very big thing. And it's very open everywhere. We know about sex trafficking, all these is happening, all these little people, and this trauma is really hurting people, and they're not getting healed. And so what they do, all that anger, like Robert was saying, it is exposing. And so what we're doing, we're seeing a whole lot of more anger. We're seeing it from little kids, 7 years old, that cannot self-regulate, and parents are giving up. I know I keep hearing it's all about home. It's not always that, because you got kids that do come from good homes and are struggling with anger and have so much hate. So I really believe in this group. I thank you for allowing me to be part of it. And also whatever I can do to help support and move forward, please let me know.
Same here. Same here. I feel the
Thank
same way.
Question. Thank you. Oh, and I want to say that too, man. Thank you. I'm sorry. I just want to say for all the mental health professionals on the line, but again, there are so many different capacities that we as human beings face, and coming together, all that broken, it makes for a broken person. And so for us to be able to have all these different talents on one space, it affords us an opportunity to look at things that there's reason to be optimistic. There's reasons to think of things as being half full as opposed to half empty, because there's hope every time that we do whatever it is that we can do to make it better. So I just wanted to say, man, to everybody in whatever capacity that you work in, thank you for your efforts.
Thank you so much, Robert. And so I would like to thank everyone for being here with us today, and using your voice. Your voice is powerful.
Regina,
Yes.
I want to thank my guests for coming in. Sorry, please forgive me, Miss. I would like to thank my sister for coming here and actually watching me work. I don't know if she can hear me because she has herself on mute. I love you, and I appreciate you so much for being here.
Yes, and we are talking about Keisha, right?
Yes, we are.
Keisha Tiggs. Yes. Thank you, Keisha Tiggs, for joining in with Karen Lockhart to support our cause, our mission. Thank you.
She's probably at work, so.
No,
Yes, it's okay. And Michelle Bosque, is there anything else that you would like to say in honor, of Alec and ones we lost to gun violence?
I would just like to say thank you, Regina and Karen, and all of you guys, for the opportunity for us to come together and be a voice for the ones that don't have a voice, for our loved ones and others. I myself was like you, joined in late after I lost my son, but we're a network now. It's like a family that we come together and we be the voice for those who don't have one. And like I said, once again, I appreciate everybody that comes in and joins in. And it's real tough, when you're just like a one person army, that we can come together. And it's beautiful to see that we're all from different states. We're all across the map right now, and it's awesome to see us all come together, for our children and our loved ones.
Yes, it really is. And we are,
We do
um,
have, we
at
do
a,
have the, Regina, we do have the women's group, woman empowerment. We do have that with Regina. So if you're not a part of that, please get to it. We are very busy. I've been working with Regina for now over about 3 years now. She has been with me since I went through domestic violence myself. Um, Going through it, and I was fighting through it. Regina was right there when she first started this business. It's been very, very busy for the both of us. So if we don't get back to you, we will. You know, you can definitely add me to your Facebook. Um, I seen Regina grow from nothing. Um, and I would like to have you, Michelle, on the side of our team to represent your child. Anybody else that's on here that has lost someone, we would like to accept you in the women's group. And that's always, we try to do it on, we're gonna try to do it more often. That's what I'm gonna say. And we also have a men's group for Robert. I have some other networks that I would like you to get involved with too. It's a men's group here in New York City that we have also. But they do it on live on here, so that will work if you don't mind getting involved with that. If you can't make it, just let us know. We'll just, let you know the update. But I would like you to get connected to a couple of networks that I have. I have also a Facebook page called Network with Karen. And my Facebook is Karen Lockhart. So I will be giving that to everybody in their contact. And we'll just be passing the torch to each other. And Regina, I'm about to go. I love you guys. Thank you.
thank you, Karen. We're all gonna leave out together. And again, I just want to thank everyone for being here. To support the Regina Queen Show, United Women Empowerment Against Gun and Domestic Violence, uplifting women in all walks of life. And we thank you, we appreciate you, and let's all stay connected and support each other and get down to the core of the solution to help save a life. Thank you all.
Regina, I'd like to say real quick, I'm sorry to interrupt. Thank you
Oh, go
so
ahead, sure.
What is it? We lost her.
She's coming, she should be coming right back in. There,
Sorry, I
Michelle.
lost you. I live out in the country, so my internet's not that great. But I just want to say thank you so much to you and Karen for bringing Latasha into this. We love Latasha so much. She was a mother, just like all of us who lost our child to gun violence. And unfortunately, we lost her as well to gun violence. And I just want to say thank y'all. I know Mama Minnie is going to be so grateful, for what y'all can do for her. And thank you for being a voice for her. We don't talk about her enough, but we love her and we miss her so much. And very grateful that y'all are doing this, guys. Very grateful.
Thank you so much. And then I would like to thank Robert White again for taking the time out, to stand behind us queens. And we need more kings. And we really thank you for that because, your presence, it really empower us as women. And it means so much to us women. And that's why I did bring the topic up of men, how men, degrade women and call women bitches and this and that, when we are the motherland, we are the earth. We give birth, to our men. And I just want to thank you so much, Robert, for being my main speaker here and just standing behind us queens. It meant so much to us. And this is a very powerful podcast because the message is in the message here. And we really do appreciate you and thank you and many blessings to you. And whenever you need our support, we are here.
I greatly appreciate the opportunity again. Thanks, guys.
And thank you so much, Ms. Hudson, too, for being here with us as well. We really honor you as well. Thank you so much. And we'd like to say thank you to all our viewers who listen to our podcast or now, later, whenever, it would always be here. And we hope that you got a message from this podcast. And we ask that we all come together and prevent violence any way you can here in our world today. And we thank you all. Bye.
Hold on 1 minute. We want to thank Miss Hudson. She's on here too. She came to support her son. I appreciate you coming. We can't forget about her. She's a beauty. I love her, love her, love her.
Love you, Miss Hudson. Would you like to say anything, Miss Hudson, before we go?
She on mute.
You're
Okay.
real.
And
Hold on. She probably has to say something. She's on mute. Let me unmute her for her.
okay.
He said, I'm coming.
I just wanted to thank I just wanted to thank you all so much for having me on your show. I really appreciate it. This is so important to us all. I was just a little nervous, but thank you again.
Oh, you're so welcome. And I know how it can be when you feeling nervous and everything, but that's what I vibrate off of. I vibrate off um my pain and others' pain too. As
Yes, yes,
I used to be nervous when, doing a podcast, but the Most High, has put me in this space to connect with the broken and the pain is which speaks for itself. And that's how I speak because the pain
yes,
that I encounter, and I don't wish this on anyone ever in life to go through the type of trauma that victims go through. And it's not fair. We should be able to, enjoy an abundant of life, and crime
yes,
free. We should be able to
yes,
enjoy the law of the land that the Most High has given us. And that belongs to us. Trauma doesn't belong to us. Self-sabotage, stress, depression, the crime, the murdering each other, human beings, all of that is not our family. Our family is to live in peace and love and happiness and to support each other and just enjoy the land before our time is to go. Because we all have our time. And I thank you all so very much. And thanks to all our viewers who listen to our podcast. We love you all, and you all have a blessed day.
You too.
Gina
God
Queen
bless.
Show.
thank you. God bless
Thank you.
It was nice meeting every one of you guys.
Love you
you.
all.
Thanks again.
That was good. Welcome. It's your first time.